What's up, man? Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
When you're sitting back there and you're watching Dana on the screen and he confirms that yes, you're in the UFC, try and tell me what that emotion's like.
It's undescribable. I've been in this sport for over a decade. I turned pro in 2010 when I was 19 years old. I've been in this sport for a long time. I was on the Ultimate Fighter Season 18 as the #1 alternate. I showed up, I made weight, but nobody missed weight, and I didn't get to fight. I was so close to securing my dream then, and then I've had some ups and downs, and to work my way back and get this opportunity and then get this contract tonight is a dream come true.
When you take a setback like that before, right? You're on the scales. You think, oh, just all I need is a bit of luck, and you don't get it. How do you stay mentally strong enough and dedicated enough to keep going?
I just didn't want to give up. I've had a tough life. I had 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters. My family's battled with drugs their whole life, and I didn't want to live that kind of life. I got 2 girls. I got a 3-year-old and I got an 8-year-old, and I just want to give them a life that I never got to live. And now my journey, after being here for 10 years chasing it, I'm going to change my kid's life.
Awesome, man. Let's talk about the fight itself. In the pre-fight package, you said, "Oh, I have the Khabib wrestling and the grappling of Damian Maia." I think that's big claims for anyone, right? You know, you sort of hear that, you think, but then you just didn't stop going for submissions. It was submission after submission. Dana White was up here and he's saying it's been a while since we've seen a fight like that with those crazy scrambles. First of all, how surprised are you that he did not tap until the very end?
Oh, I was very surprised. We had him gurgling a few times. I knew Nate was a tough guy. I thought I was going to get the submission a lot faster, but I don't like to hit the scorecards. I have 20 professional fights, and I've only hit the scorecards 3 times. I have 1 fight on my record that's a loss that I feel I dominated that fight, and I did the same thing. I went after submissions, I dominated the ground, and I lost in the guy's hometown. Ever since, I've never been to the scorecards, and I'm going to do any and everything in my power. I know I dominated that fight from the start of the bell to the end of the finish, but I didn't want to hit the scorecards. I do not like the scorecards. Nothing against anybody, no judges or nothing like that. I know they're doing their job, but if I get the finish, then I know I guarantee get that win.
There's a couple of arm bars in there, especially early on, that had me grimacing, Dana grimacing. Did you feel like he was ready to go, or was he just crazy flexible? What was the adjustment needed to finish him off with the armbar?
Yeah, I was trying to break it, and the guy, he's just a tough dude. He wanted that contract as bad as me, but it looks better on me to show that there's no quit, and I wanted to get that finish. I had to go from the armbar to the omoplata to the triangle, and he was gurgling in the triangle, and the bell sounded and saved him. And then I had him in that guillotine choke as well. I thought I was going to put him out with the guillotine choke. I was either trying to put him to sleep or break something. And in that 3rd round, I secured that head and arm, which is one of my favorite submissions. And once I got it, I knew it was either he was going to sleep or tapping, and he tapped.
Congratulations, man. Welcome to the UFC.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
How does it feel to know that Daniel Cormier, when he was going through, and I'm not sure if you heard it, when he was going through the sort of breakdown, said that yours was the best fight of the night?
That is awesome. I actually just seen Daniel at the hotel, and I took a picture with him. I love Daniel Cormier. He's a wrestler from OSU. I've wrestled my whole life in Oklahoma. I transferred into jiu-jitsu really well. I love jiu-jitsu. I love wrestling, and I love Daniel Cormier. I thought it was awesome that he was here commentating, and then I got the #1 pick from him for tonight's performance, so that was freaking awesome.
I think what's interesting is a lot of fighters, now that the UFC has been around so long, we're starting to see young kids start in MMA straight from the get-go. Do you still think, though, that wrestling is probably maybe the best start for young kids to maybe get into it, or do you think they should just start straight into MMA when they're getting their start?
No, 100% I think wrestling is. I've wrestled from the time I was 3 years old to the time I was 17 years old, and then I almost wore myself out. I think if I would have done jiu-jitsu so early or started doing stand-up too early, I think you can break your kids mentally before they get there. I say pick a sport like wrestling or maybe jiu-jitsu, start them out with that. Make sure they love the sport, make sure they want to be in that sport. Don't overdo it, because when you get older, you'll stray away from it, and you won't want to do it no more. But I love wrestling, and that's made me the fighter that I am today.
I think when you watch the display of submission moves that you put on tonight, just so seamlessly going from one transition to the other, would it be a mistake for the flyweight division to think that you're a one-trick pony and only have to watch out for your submissions on the ground?
Oh, yeah, it'd be a huge mistake. I've been at Forza Combat Sports for over a year and a half. You can go look on UFC Fight Pass where I have a kickboxing fight, and I dominated in my kickboxing fight. I got pro boxing fights, I got pro Muay Thai fights, I got pro kickboxing fights, but I'm the brick for the reason, and it's because my game's solid all over.
That kind of answers the question. I wanted you to describe the brick for us. But looking at the flyweight division, is there anyone in there that impresses you? And I wouldn't say intimidated, because I don't think fighters are intimidated by anybody. Is there anybody in the flyweight division that impresses you with either their submission skills or their striking skills?
Yes, I like Brandon Royval. He was the last LFA champ. He won in 23 seconds. I won the LFA title in 38 seconds. He jumped in the UFC, and he picked up a submission win. He's got a 23-second submission win. I got a 38-second submission win. That's a guy I want to get in the future. I think we would match up really well together, and we're both LFA champs. So I would love to fight that guy.
That's awesome. And the last one, you kind of reminded me, how nuts is it that you were just fighting for an LFA title and then you immediately turn around? Does your family think you're nuts to just jump right back into it? Did they ever tell you to slow down and rest up a little bit before getting back in there?
Oh, yeah. My wife, I know it frustrates her a lot. We're also working on opening up her business. She's a nail technician. And 10 days after winning the LFA title, I got this call. And I couldn't say no. I just, had to clear it up with her, and she was okay with it. We turned around, we got back in the gym, and now we came out here during the pandemic and fought again. I fought 3 times this year. I brought home 2 titles, and now I'm bringing home a UFC contract.
So if the boss, when you get back home, you're going to talk to the boss and see if she lets you get another quick fight in, or are you going to try to rest and just maybe do a little training and just kind of rest up a little bit before your next fight?
I would like to get a little rest and focus on opening my wife's business. My little girl just started school yesterday as well, and I wasn't there to take her to school. So, but when they call, it's hard to say no. And if the boss says it's okay, it's okay.
Congrats. Welcome to the UFC.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats, Flick, on that performance, which was fantastic. You lived up to the Khabib and Damian grappling clinics and such. If you want to just elaborate, please, on that. Birthday coming up, 10 years in the game. Talk about not giving up. A message to other people who have the same aspirations but are ready to, pack it up. And clearly you didn't, and look where you're at now.
Yes, thank you, sir. And yes, I have amazing jiu-jitsu and I have amazing wrestling. That's why I say I have the Khabib wrestling and the Damian Maia jiu-jitsu. And I got the Forza Combat Sports stand-up, and it's only getting better. I thought my career was going to be over mid-20s. I took a few losses at 135 because we thought the UFC was going to cut the 125-pound division. So that had me worried there for a little bit. But the flyweight division is solidified again, and we got Cody Garbrandt coming down. I think that's going to bring more fans to the flyweight division. And then I went out here and put on an awesome performance. And just tell people, don't give up. I'm at 29. I'm at the prime of my career now. And if you look at everybody that fought on the card, not many fighters has as much experience as I do. So I was 100% confident going in this fight, fighting a 6-0 guy. And I told him his O had to go, and that's what I did tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.